Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today. As you cycle into today's call, if you guys wouldn't mind doing me a favor and just typing in the chat where you're joining us from. Hey Chelsea.
Hi.
Hi. So as you can see, everyone, Chelsea Gardner is our special guest today. We are very excited to have her share with us some great marketing info. I'm assuming you need to share your screen.
I do not.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
having technical difficulties. So
Okay,
my
so we're gonna do it
entire
the
internet,
old-fashioned way today.
my
No,
entire internet is down.
no problem. No worries. Okay,
So,
well, we're really excited to have you join us. Maybe for those who may not know who you are, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your company, and then just take it away.
awesome, awesome. So I am Chelsea Gardner. I specialize in all things marketing, primarily when it comes to meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram ads, as well as social media marketing. And so I own a company called Fully Aligned Marketing, and that's exactly what we do is run targeted paid ads for loan officers and mortgage professionals. So that's a little bit about me and my company. And then as far as you want me to just kind of dive right in, Valerie?
Yeah, before you start, let me just give a plug to your webinar. So,
Yeah, okay.
if at the end of this you would like to learn more about what Chelsea has to offer, Chelsea is a strategic sponsor of NAM, but she also is doing a webinar with us on March 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time called Be the Lender Realtors See Everywhere. And I will drop the link to register in the chat. So if you want to get more info, get more details, and communicate more with Chelsea, please register for the webinar as well. Okay,
Yeah.
take it away.
Yeah. That is gonna be a good webinar because we are diving into literally meta ads and how to be seen. So I'm super excited about that this week. And so today I want to kind of talk about when you are this is gonna be a great transition into Thursday's webinar. So you're gonna get like a little preview sneak peek of like what you need before going into the webinar this week. So when you look at running paid ads, so let me kind of share with you a lot of mortgage professionals think, okay, I am showing up organically. I'm putting out content. Maybe you aren't putting out content. I don't know. Drop in the chat if you are consistently putting out content. But if you are or are not, you really don't know organically who is seeing your content. So even if you have 500 or 500,000 followers on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, you don't truly know who sees that content. So that's why we love running meta ads, right? Meta targeted ads. We can upload a list, we can target exactly who we want to be seen by our realtors, our past clients, our pre approved and lookings, our prospects, and be directly in front of them. But I want to tell you about when you run paid ads, right? You're not just putting out an advertisement and being like, hey, call me, right? I'm here. I'm a loan officer. I can help you. Or I help first time home buyers. Give me a call. Or, hey, I help, realtors and make that transition for their clients into, the best loan or offer a second opinion. Those are all great things to say, but honestly, when you are running directly to who you want to be seen by, think about what they want to know, what they want to see, right? So as they're scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, I just saw a message, it can also relate to LinkedIn if you're running LinkedIn ads, same concept, right? Think about what they actually want to know or see or hear from, and your perspective is what's going to matter most to them, right? So, not just, hey, I'm a lender, call me, I can offer a second opinion, but hey, here's my process, or do you have someone that maybe tried to get approved and is struggling because they have, they're an entrepreneur and they don't have all their documents, or like myself, like I don't know where any of my paperwork is. So I am like probably the worst case scenario if I was trying to buy a house right now for a lender, because I'm a mess, right? My paperwork is a mess. That's what my husband's for. And so, and so tell a story around what could possibly they be seeing, right? So a realtor, hey, if you have a client who is an entrepreneur and is struggling with their paperwork or getting approved through whoever they're currently using, I offer a second opinion, and here's how that works. Okay. And so yes, that can also be an organic post, but think about if you were able to take something like that, very personalized, very direct to a realtor, and run it directly in front of them, right? Take a realtor list in your area, 500 realtors, and say, I'm running this ad directly to them, and they're the only people who are going to see this ad. That is so powerful, right? That is so much more powerful than putting that video on social organically and just praying and hoping that the right people see it, or that realtors in your area and your market see it. So think about when you are wanting to target and be seen by a specific group of people, what are some things they want to know? And I want you guys in the chat, tell me, who is your direct audience? Who are you, if you were posting online right now, if you're not running ads, and let's say you're just posting organically, do you know who you're trying to target? Do you know who you are speaking to on the other side of that phone? I would love to know if, do you know, right? Because what I don't want to see, and hopefully I don't, I'm opening the chat to take a look. What I don't want to see is anyone who wants to buy a house, right? Because that doesn't help you. You want to make sure you're really kind of narrowing in on how you're helping specific people and how you can help this very specific group of individuals. Oh, I love that. Okay, so doctors, dentists, vets, CPAs, I love that. That's very specific, right? So you can actually say, here's how I help CPAs get a home loan. Here's how I help, right, vets get a home loan. Here's how I help vets qualify for their VA loans. So you can get very specific. And when you can do that, you can really start making the other person on that phone, and especially if you're targeting, let's say, if you're targeting realtors through meta ads, but you help veterans, then you can easily say, do you have veterans? Do you have buyers that are veterans that are struggling to get their VA benefits? Or do you think they might get more benefits and you don't know that because you don't, obviously you're not a lender who is working hard for them and only, helping vets. That's what I do. I help vets make sure they are maximizing their, benefits when it comes to buying a house. And so when that realtor sees that on the other end of the phone, they're gonna be like, I do have a vet. I do have someone that can help, right? Or I know someone who needs that, or my colleague, has a vet that she's been struggling with to get, approved or get max benefits or whatever. Or a first time home buyer that, is struggling to understand everything. So think about when you can target them directly. And I want you kind of leaning into what we're going to be talking about on Thursday. If between now, let's say what's today, Monday, if between Monday and Thursday, you can get your list of realtors. We're going to upload that list together on Thursday. So that's a little sneak preview into that. You can do it right along with me. And if you can do a video, I'm going to challenge you to do a video. Think about how you help someone in the market, right? So again, I love going back to some of these comments where, I'm helping self-employed borrowers, right? So verifications for self-employed borrowers. That's very specific and that is fabulous. So Danny, I want you to think about doing a video about how you can help self-employed borrowers when it comes to getting verification, and what types of verification can you use as a self-employed borrower that maybe people like me don't know, right? If I'm self-employed, I have no, well, I do, but I have no idea, right? I don't know what you need, and I just assume I have everything. If you are helping attorneys, how can you do that? What does that look like? If you're helping divorce attorneys, right? Navigate divorce, home ownership, those types of things. Put together a very simple video. And what I want you to do is I want you to run an ad directly to those people, directly to your realtors or directly to your, past clients if you want to talk about getting maybe a mortgage review done, or do you, have someone that's looking to buy or refinance or anything like that. I want you to run a paid ad to those individuals. And what I want you to do is start listening for conversations that say, I see you everywhere, right? Because that's what's going to happen when you run paid ads to a very specific group of people. If you're running paid ads to your realtors in your market, you're going to be like, calling them and they're gonna be like, I see you everywhere. And really everywhere is just, you're just specifically targeting them. But what you don't want is for them to scroll, right? And it look like a paid ad, right? You don't want them to scroll and then be like, just keep scrolling because it looks like just a good old graphic. That's where you coming in and telling a story or talking about an experience or how you can specifically help them, not just here's what you need for a VA home loan. No, here's how I can help you qualify for a VA home loan, right? Huge difference there than just saying, here's the 5 documents you need for being when you're self-employed. No, here's how I help self-employed borrowers get a home loan when they don't have X, Y, and Z. I help them find ABC so that we can get them into that home. Huge difference in the way that you connect with your audience when you are running video. And again, this can go on organic, but I love, again, targeted ads because you're right in front of them. So that is my challenge for you this week. And Danny, how many seconds or minutes and any bullet point outline for guidance? So when it comes to timeline, you want to do a video that is obviously gives enough information. You don't want to cut yourself short, but that you're not rambling. So what I recommend when doing video content is lay out your bullet points, right? Memorize your bullet points because you want to make sure you're looking at the camera versus like reading something off the screen, and try to keep it to under 30 seconds. But if it needs to be longer, that is okay, but make it very like there's no pauses, there's no right? You're getting all of that stuff out. You want it to be very punchy because you want them to see it and you want it to kind of be fast. So if you need to talk it through, right? When I record videos, I will record and then I just kind of mumble and talk for 5 minutes on the camera, and then I just chop pieces that make sense together and put it all in one video. So you can absolutely do that too, but I recommend keeping it to under 30 seconds if you can, and making sure that you have a very strong hook. So if you are targeting realtors, right, and let's say you're targeting realtors that have first-time home buyers, then you're going to want to have a very strong punchy hook in the very beginning that says, if you are a realtor that has a self-employed borrower that blah 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 blah, something very call out, right? Your audience call out, and something very like punchy. Okay. You want to be short and sweet in the very beginning of that hook because you want them to be like, oh, yes, I do. You don't want to say, hi, I'm Chelsea Gardner. I own Fully Aligned Marketing and I can help you, blah, 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 blah. That they're gone after you said hi. Okay. So make sure that you are diving right into that. And you can absolutely use ChatGPT for help, but I never recommend obviously reading it verbatim from there. And then as far as CTAs go, it's going to be dependent upon your goal. So if it is something like, hey, I help, your first time home buyers, then you can absolutely use a CTA. Like if you have a home buyer guide, you can use a CTA that says, hey, download my home buyer guide and give it to your first time home buyers. You can ask them to sign up maybe for a webinar that you have for first time home buyers or for realtors. Those are great, opt-ins that they're going to kind of get more engagement from. You can also say like, I'm here, shoot me a DM, call me. But it's really just going to kind of be more along the lines of this is what I can do and not necessarily selling, if that makes sense. And a CTA is a call to action. So at the end of a video or at the end of a caption, when you hear someone say like, call me or message me or DM me or whatever the case may be, it's what that person watching your video or reading your stuff is basically what you want them to do. You're calling them to an action. So that's my whole spiel, Valerie.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
It, I had some examples I wanted to share, but like I said, my computer screen right now, if you could see it, is lines of purple and black right now. So I have no idea what's
Oh,
going on in my computer.
that's
Um,
that's
so
about as bad as the blue screen of death. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
all
So I
say a
did have some
prayer for
examples.
your computer, but it's not sounding good.
It's not sounding good. I did put it into the universe the other day that I wanted a new one. So
Well, this is one way to get a new one. Have the other
I
one
might was
blow
like, you
up.
don't need a new
So.
computer. I'm like, clearly now I do.
Right, right. So we do have a couple questions.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
some questions? Okay. What do you think about AI social media generation?
Mm. So I love AI for very specific things, such as using it to help you come up with ideas, helping you maybe navigate through making a script, but never using it as like the full caption or script or whatever the case is. You got to use your own words. You always hear you can train ChatGPT or Claude or whatever AI system you're using to speak more like you, but always review it. Now, if you're using AI for, let's say, generated videos, okay, so I think there's like HeyGen and things like that. I personally am not the biggest fan. However, what I would recommend if you want to do like AI, if you're like, I really want to do videos, but I'd rather like do the AI generated videos of myself and not like actually me, then I would recommend kind of being a little like cheeky with it and being like, hey, I'm Chelsea's, better half, or I'm, make up a name, right? So you're not trying to sway the viewers that clearly know it's an AI video that you're trying to pass off as a human when it's AI. A lot of people are we're in a what's called a trust recession right now. So if you are trying to push an AI version of yourself onto the screen and pass it off as you, you're going to immediately lose trust of anyone to do business with you. So I recommend if you're going to do it, you can absolutely do it, but do it in a fun way where it's, again, like, I'm here to tell you about this because Chelsea doesn't like to be on camera, right? So make it fun and engaging versus like actually trying to pass off as Chelsea, if that makes sense. And then
Yeah.
as far as captions and graphics and all of that, I definitely recommend just rereading everything and training your chat for stuff. And really looking at the captions. You now see a lot of stuff today where people know it's AI, right? So you're seeing a lot of these long form captions with emojis. And unfortunately, there's some words that like people associate with Chat GPT, which is really unfortunate because I feel like a lot of those words I used to naturally use in my language because
Right.
I am a caption writer or a copywriter, and so I naturally wrote like that. And now I'm like having to change my entire way of writing because now chat writes like that. And everyone's like, oh, that's chat. And I'm like, well, no, it's not. I actually wrote that. Um,
Yeah, you can I think the big, at least in the text part of a post, if you have the green check mark as the bullet point as opposed to the good old fashioned, slightly larger dot, that's like a giveaway to Chat GPT. It
Yes.
does love those emojis and
And that
um
star, it loves the star. Every time I write a post, it either does the star or the rocket ship.
yeah, yes, yeah. Just out of curiosity, this isn't a question, I'm just asking this for general. Um, I transitioned from ChatGPT to Claude.
hmm
What AI programs do you prefer to use in your own business?
Yeah, so that's funny you said that because I have been a chat GPT like guru since it launched, right? I mean, Ginger and I wrote a book together about chat
Yeah.
GPT, so like we were on it like way back when. And I have never veered from it. And I think it's because I like once you in my mind there's so much AI out there that like you have to master one before like or you'll get so overwhelmed with all the different systems and tools. So you need to really dive into one. However, over literally the past 2 weeks, I have started using test trialing Claude a little bit more for stuff. And now I'm starting to go to it more than chat. So I'm starting to kind of like Claude, I think, especially when it comes to caption writing and assistance with ideas. I think it has a
Mhm.
lot more personable writing abilities without as much prompting. So chat, like I can make it write very personable, but I have to prompt it very heavily. Whereas Claude, I find it seems to write a little bit more personable than just like a bot.
Yeah, I the reason I switched is I found that like ChatGPT, it's like trying to tell somebody that English isn't their first language what you want, and then them interpreting it back to you. Where with Claude, it feels like I'm giving something to somebody that English is their first language, and then they're giving it right back to me. And
Yeah.
definitely, if you use anything enough, it gets to know you. But it seemed like Claude was really sort of in my brain,
hmm
as opposed to Chat GPT kind of, you're off to the side, but there's like some Claude microchip up here. So it's like actually, um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And
But I do use Chat GPT for images. Claude, terrible.
yes.
Yeah, you can't use it for images, but you can use it it does really good prompts for
hmm
Canva. But
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting because I've definitely started using I still use chat more for like search stuff. So like instead of going to Google, I tend to go to chat. But for creative stuff, I've been like creative writing stuff, I've been diving more into Claude. And like you said, the deliverability is so much better. It's
yeah.
comes right back to you. And it actually the very first time I used it, I was putting together like a 30-day strategy and it like laid out an entire strategy in like a PDF document and like line itemed and like
Yes.
different colors, like how I would have laid it out in my own mind. And anytime I've ever done that in chat, it just gives me like the plan and then it's like, would you like it in a PDF? Whereas Claude's just
Right.
like, here you go. It's nice and it's color coded and it's day
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
day. And I'm like, oh, okay, I like that. And I didn't have to do anything. Like that was the first time I've used that platform. So
Yeah, yeah, yes, it does do that. And yes, it loves a good spreadsheet, which who doesn't love a good spreadsheet?
right.
Um, then another question is, do you have a disclosure that you give to clients for AI utilization?
Mm. So in our contract, yes, there's like a disclosure in there. Um, but for the most part, with my company, we don't use any form of AI graphics. We do everything by hand. Caption writing, we use chat and Claude for assistance, and all of my clients, we actually have custom GPTs built for them with their stuff in it, their writing, the way they talk, the way that they prefer things, their entire questionnaire. So that's honestly the only thing that we use AI for when it comes to client work. I'm still very much a like we kind of do it custom
Right.
versus through AI stuff. So I don't run into that too often.
Yeah, we do some graphic design work, and I have noticed now the companies ask. are we allowed to use AI or do you not want
Mm-hmm.
us to? And we obviously always opt for no AI because if at some point you want to trademark something
Yeah.
or, have it attached to you, you can't really do that if it's AI
And
made.
your social platforms, if you upload an AI generated graphic, video, anything like that, it will eventually tag it as AI generated.
Yeah.
It supposedly it doesn't diminish reach or views or anything like that, but they are starting to tag AI generated content, just so people know that it's AI generated. So,
Yeah. Which
take
I,
that
I
with
think
what you
is
will.
good. I mean, because
Oh,
now
I
it's
love
to
it.
the point where you almost don't believe what you see, just because it can look so real and,
Yeah.
lifelike.
Right.
Um, so the next question is if you, and we'll make this the last question because I try to keep this at 30 minutes. If
Yeah.
you generate in Canva yourself, should you identify that?
No, because Canva, can a lot of Canva graphics, they're able to be used and published. You don't have to say that they're used in Canva. If you're using Canva AI, right? So there is, Canva also has an AI generator where you key in, I want, someone on the beach walking to a house with a dolphin jumping in the background, and it will generate
Right.
an AI image. With that, it will probably still get flagged as an AI generated image inside of socials, but you don't have to necessarily like say this is AI generated. Now, if you want to, you can, but you wouldn't necessarily have to. Um, that would be my
I
thought on that.
haven't had good luck with the Canva AI. I don't know, maybe I'm
Um,
not giving it a good prompt,
I
but
haven't either. I haven't
it
either.
it just yeah, I'm like, no,
I
just
had a
no.
house. I was playing around with it one day, and I had like a house in the middle of the water with a shark like coming at it, and like people walking. It was like the weird, and I'm like, what? That's not anything what I typed. What?
Right.
I have no idea what this thing is doing.
Canva, you need to go back to bed.
But Danny is correct. So as in regards to like what you do need to be putting is all of your like NMLS, equal housing lender, equal housing opportunity, those logos, those types of things do need to either be on your graphics or in your captions disclosed somewhere, for all of your compliance pieces. So
Oh
that
yeah.
stuff does need to be there, but
I
it's
go
not
to a
out of
lot
compliance for AI.
I go to a lot of regulator conferences, and that is just part of the checklist now. They will search you out. And so, yes, if you have something posted and you didn't do that, they will find it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Chelsea. I greatly appreciate it. As I mentioned before, she does have a webinar with us on Thursday, March 5th at 12 p.m. Thursday, March 5th is actually we'll call it a mortgage holiday. It is trigger lead day. It's the day that all trigger leads go away. So yeah,
Yay!
so time
Oh,
be
that'll be
timely
so
with
nice.
some good content. Hope everyone can sign up. If for some reason you haven't clicked on the link within the chat, please go to namb.org, click on events in the calendar, and you'll be able to find it there, and you can register directly there. Thanks so much, Chelsea. I did also put her LinkedIn in the chat, and I will also, so we post all of these on NAM Hive. I will put her LinkedIn on there as well. So thanks so much, and I will see you Thursday. And
Thanks,
good
Valerie. I'll
luck
see
to
you
your
guys.
computer.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. See ya. Bye bye.